All right, so there's guys out there who see the money and the lifestyle with the software engineering stuff, right? They see that it's a quiet lifestyle. You don't have like customers yelling at you all day, and you can work from home. You can make boatloads of money, and that's literally all they know about it. And these guys, they don't really get very far. Whereas there's other guys out there who know the pros and cons about the lifestyle that they're about to get into. They work hard, they're committed, and these guys get a lot farther. I'm going to talk about the difference here specifically. I'll talk about some of the negatives that come with software engineering. Now, I've always spoken very positively about software engineering on my channel, and I'll continue to, because without a doubt, it's the best job I've ever had. But that doesn't mean there aren't some negatives, and I'm going to talk about those today. Without further ado, let's dive into it. I remember clearly, I was sitting in the lobby of my old job before I become a software engineer. And this was a customer service job. I was sitting in the lobby, I was talking to my sister, and my shift was about to start in like 5 minutes, right? And I remember just the anxiety that started building up inside, right? Because I absolutely hated my job, hated my job. And I dreaded going in there. I mean, first of all, it was an hour, 30-minute commute from my home. So I'd like commute every morning, hour, 30 minutes, actually get ready, wear something nice, and then go there. And then it was a customer service job just to get yelled at by customers all day, right? So I absolutely dreaded going there every morning, right? And I remember thinking at that point when, it was 5 minutes to my shift, that it would be a dream come true if I could get a job where I could just work from home, make like six figures plus, and be in like a chill lifestyle, right? At that time, I was thinking like if I can get like a data entry job where like literally it's mindless, I just enter data all day, I work from home, like that would be heaven. I wish I could get that, right? And that was actually what drew me to software engineering, if I'm being completely honest, right? Again, it seemed like a chill lifestyle and I had money. I was like, okay, sign me up. That's literally as far as I had thought about it. Now, this leads me to the first point. And at least in my experience, if you're a social person, right, big social person, this lifestyle is probably not for you, right? In most of the jobs that I've worked like fully remote my whole career. I'm coming up on a little over 2 years now. And like there's days where I literally don't talk to anyone except like a few Slack messages, right? And these days are not like few and far in between. They happen actually fairly often, right? So outside of meetings, a few Slack messages, that's it. That's it. So if you're someone who's like big on social interaction, this may not be the ideal career. Now, one kind of myth that I want to nip in the bud right away is there's many people who will say, "Oh, don't even bother getting into software engineering if you're not passionate about it. Got to be passionate about it, bro." Like, no, take that thought, throw it out the window. We don't listen to those people. They're putting a train of thought on us that's not going to serve us whatsoever. Look, it's mind blowing to me that when you talk about a career that pays less money, something like the customer service job I was doing, do you think I was passionate about customer service? Like, bro, no, right? Yet no one bats an eye at it. No one says, "Oh, you got to be passionate to do customer service." Yet because this career pays well, people start gatekeeping it. Oh, no, you got to be passionate about it. Like, no, you don't, right? If you work hard, you will get into the industry. I wasn't passionate about it when I started. Now I'm actually starting to kind of find a love for coding and cybersecurity, all these things, right? But it's not like I was born with that love. As I got into it, I started to like it and enjoy it, right? So that's a myth I just wanted to dispel right there. Now, the next thing I remember is this happened fairly recently. I was on a call, so I have my laptop open, right? And I'm on a call with a few other engineers, right? And we're all on this call, and one of the engineers on the call, he has like multiple years of experience. I think like 8+ years of experience. Like he's a senior, right? And we're debugging an issue together. And even he's like, "Oh, I don't know how this works. Oh, maybe we should try this. Maybe we should try that. Maybe we should try that." And we're debugging this issue together, and he's working through it with us. We're working through this problem. And this is a everyday in the life of a software engineer, right? It's problem solving all day, every day, every single day. You're going to come across a problem on your desk where you're going to be like, what the is this? How the hell do I solve this? Right? And it does get exhausting. It honestly gets exhausting, right? Like sometimes problem come across my desk and I'm like, oh, not another one, right? This is how I think, right? And I feel like that's a very human reaction. So I'm not saying you have to absolutely love problem solving. It's definitely like when I wake up, maybe I didn't sleep enough last night, or I'm just coming off the weekend and it's Monday. It's not like I'm like, oh, it's software engineering problem. Like, I'm not exactly hype about it. But if you're someone who's kind of like, I feel like that's very human, by the way. But if you're someone like that, who's not like pumped about it, but can see yourself doing it, as a career, I think you'll be fine. But if you're someone who's just like, I do not want to solve a new damn problem all the time, like, no, that's not for me. I want something maybe more routine, more, you know, expected, for lack of a better term, rather than so ambiguous, then this probably isn't the career for you. Now, part of the issue here is some of these people will talk about, oh yeah, these like influencers, right? Oh yeah, I'm a software engineer, and I just sit at home and play video games. I do like 30 minutes of work. Like, no, take that thought out the window. We don't listen to those people. These people put a train of thought on us that, again, doesn't serve us whatsoever. And I'll be completely honest with you. There are positions out there where you can kind of live like that, right? Maybe not 30 minutes of work a day, but you can do like some mundane work, probably like some maintaining some system, right? And then the rest of the day, like, do fuck all, right? Like, these really, really chill jobs do exist. I know of some people who are in them. But when you do that, it's tough to find those jobs. It's not like, so I'm talking about average cases when I talk about the negatives, right? So on average, you're going to be solving new problems every day. Really chill jobs and really, really like hard work-life balance jobs. Those tend to be outliers. So I'm talking about the average case. And the second thing is, if you decide to go into one of those positions, just recognize, and I'm not trying to judge when I say this, you know, but I'm just saying, recognize that your skills will stagnate greatly. And what that means is, because technology moves at such a fast pace, if your skills are stagnating, you know, in the absolute worst case, you could find yourself to where your skills are no longer relevant and you're out of a job and you're having to play catch up, right? So we have to be a little bit careful with that, and that's just something to keep in mind. Now, the next thing I remember is in my job, well, I was doing a project and I thought something should be done one way. So I sent a Slack message about it, right? Sent it off. And then one of the senior engineers, he responds and he disagrees with me, right? And I've had similar instances to this where a senior engineer has disagreed with me. And I've just, you know, listened to him without a second thought. Because in my previous jobs, that was kind of the expectation. There was a hierarchy, right? Senior says something, that's it, conversation over. And when I did that, I was actually told that's not what I should be doing. Now, I've also gone the other way, right? Because I'm someone who really had to learn the skill of not always trying to prove I'm right, right? Like, I've always, like, even as a child, like, I'd argue, even if I knew my point was wrong, I'd be trying to argue it. I didn't care about the fact. I cared about being right, right? That was a little bit of my personality, at least before. So this leads me to the third point, is in conversations, you have to be okay pushing back. Even if a senior is telling you do this and you genuinely feel it's not best for the vision of the project or whatever, in my experience, at least, people expect you to push back, right? And if you don't push back, your manager and stuff, they will take notice and they'll talk to you about that. And I'm someone who kind of struggles with that, right? And now I've gotten a lot better at it, but I'll be honest, I struggle with conflict and that stuff sometimes, right? So pushing back, yeah, you know, that's something I had to learn. And similarly, you also have to be okay with someone pushing back on you and you not taking that personally and looking at it objectively. Is what they're saying actually the better option? And if it is, putting your ego to the side and moving forward with that. So again, if you struggle with it, that's okay. It's a skill that can be learned. It's a skill I learned. But if you're someone who just cannot do it, you have to be right, and you know that's your personality. Again, maybe not the best fit for you. Now, I just want to end this video off by saying, hey, be kind to yourself throughout this process of learning the code, right? I pointed out some negatives so far, and while those negatives definitely exist, again, software engineering is the best damn job I've ever had, right? In a lot of ways. And I'm not saying this is a job I'll do for the rest of my life. I really don't know. Like, I'm trying to explore different things still, right? Like, I'm doing my job, and then outside of my job, I'll explore like this YouTube thing, right? Maybe if YouTube takes off, I'll be like, actually, YouTube is way better, you know, and I'll leave software engineering. So we never know. But out of all the jobs I've done so far, by and far, this is the best job I've ever had. I remember my background, again, of commuting 1 hour, 30 minutes to a job that I dreaded going into, customers yelling at me all day. Commuting an hour and 30 minutes back, right? I remember those things, and getting paid a little above minimum wage to do it. And then I was about to like go into policing, where I would have to be doing shift work and, you know, waking up at like 12 a.m. for a shift and having like little to no work-life balance, right? That's the path in which I was heading down, right? And again, I was when I saw the software engineering lifestyle, I wasn't passionate about it. I was like, I saw the money, I saw it had good work-life balance. I'm like, I'm in, sign me up, right? And I started grinding at it. And I remember grinding at it, like I started my CS degree December 2019, got my first job, or rather my first six-figure role, August of 2021. And throughout all that mid period, the most I'd made was like a little above minimum wage, right? So you'll be working day in, day out, day in, day out. You won't see the fruits of your labor. It can get discouraging. I completely understand. Not just discouraging, like it's just a very ambiguous process to go through. You're putting in work and you're hoping you're doing the right things, and because it takes so long to see results, it's kind of like, am I doing the right thing? Am I not? And I remember all those feelings. On top of all the feelings of, again, I had a very non-analytical background. I failed multiple high school courses, didn't graduate high school on time. I failed the college course. I was a super average college student. So when I pivoted from my criminology degree into computer science, I was worried. I'm like, oh, computer science is like the smart people career, right? Will I be able to do this? Software engineering is like smart people career. Will I be able to do this, right? And I've been just fine in the industry, right? I've been just fine in the industry. But again, I remember all those struggles. So be kind to yourself. Be proud of yourself every single day for showing up. There's a lot of people who start this journey, but not a lot of people will see it through till the end, right? And look, I am 100% confident if you put in the work day in, day out, day in, day out, you will make it in this industry, right? I have no doubt about this. Now, I just want you to imagine for a second, imagine you take this advice, you run with it, and now your money is growing day by day by day. You're at a job that you don't dread going into every day. You have money to like go out on dates or go out with friends, right? You have money to support your family. You have money to buy like new things you always wanted. Like I had like a 2007 Toyota Corolla that like starts shaking if it went over 80 kilometers an hour, and I was able to buy a brand new car, right? Or rather lease the car, but either way, right? So look, there's a lot of good things that are waiting for you in the future. Imagine that you're there now. Imagine how good that feels, and that's the exact path that you're heading down. All right. Be kind to yourself. Be proud of yourself every single day. Keep on showing up and working hard, and no doubt you'll make it in the industry. Right now, ultimately, I want this channel and this community to be our positive little community where we help each other, support each other, and help each other get to the next level in life. So please come join the community. I'll leave my Instagram, TikTok in the description, also somewhere here. Please do support there as well. Please do like, comment, subscribe. It really helps inflate my ego. I'll talk to you later. Peace.